Welcome back to another episode of the Hologram News Network, where we bring you the latest headlines in Star Atlas. On this week's episode, we'll cover an important SAGE announcement, 3D printed Star Atlas ships, and other community events. Our main feature this week is the first economics quarterly report that defines business cycles in the Star Atlas economy. However, we won't be doing a deep dive because later this week, we'll be sitting down with Stephen Sabal, the head of Star Atlas economy, alongside Stardust Economy, to talk about the growing economy of Star Atlas. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Courtney, your host, and you're on the Hologram News Network. First up, March 31st has come and gone, and with it, the first quarter of 2023 with no release of SAGE. Previous indication by the Star Atlas team targeted a first quarter release of this year. However, that mark has been missed. Friday afternoon, CEO Michael Wagner released this statement. I wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude for your enthusiasm and support for Gallia's upcoming movement testbed, which will also be coupling with an immersive social campaign. In the coming weeks, we'll be sharing more details about what you can expect, including a town hall that we know you all have been waiting for. This will be worth the wait. In the meantime, stick with us on this journey. We're extremely excited for everything lined up this year. Thank you for your patience and continued support. It means a lot to not only myself, but the rest of the team who's building out this incredible universe. Those were the words directly from Wagner himself. His statement suggests that SAGE Movement testbed will be in the coming weeks to accompany a town hall and immersive social campaign. It's likely then that the next town hall will pack a series of releases for the community. Turning towards community news, the first ever licensed Star Atlas IP project was launched by Enigma 42. Community members can purchase 3D printed models of Star Atlas ships, including the Visas Amboy, the Fimble Packlight, the Fimble Mamba, Pierce X4, and the Tufa Feist. Customers can also purchase STL files, which adds the Hero Compact and Rainbow Om, so they can 3D print ships themselves. Ships come without finish painting, but customers can contact the store owner for custom orders. Find more details in the show notes. In more community news, the Atlas Brew Society held its first ever real-world meetup in Paris, France. The event, which took place on March 25th at a bar called Le 38M, taking its namesake from the popular street it's on, the event featured community director Santi and members of the French-speaking Star Atlas community. The event was coordinated by community member Darwin and will be the first in a series of community events coordinated throughout the world. You can find more details in the show notes. And that's it for weekly headlines, but don't go away. After the break, we touch on the first economics quarterly this year for Star Atlas ahead of our exclusive interview with the head of Star Atlas Economics, Stephen Sabal. Be sure to subscribe to get notified when that episode drops next week.
Gain exclusive insight into community sentiment with Hologram News Network, your go-to source for all things Star Atlas. Get updated on gameplay developments, join guilds around the world, or speak up when it counts. The Hologram News Network is a premier source of Star Atlas news. Find the latest gameplay updates, guilds, and community right here. You can find the Hologram News Network on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe today to make sure you never miss a beat on any Star Atlas news. HNN is here to help shine a light on every playstyle.
Welcome back. While we did not get a SAGE release at the end of the first quarter, we did receive the latest edition of the Star Atlas Economics Report Quarterly. This quarterly attempts to define and understand the economic forces in and out of the Star Atlas economy, to compare and contrast them with real-world economies, all with the aim of legitimizing digital economies in the eyes of economists and academics alike. For this edition, the Star Atlas economics team focused their efforts on defining a business cycle within the Star Atlas metaverse. The Econ report is pretty high-level reading, so we'll take a very basic approach to this to get you the highlights. The article first addresses some highlights noted by the Econ department. Notable factoids include a 0.7% decrease in the size of the labor force and a total claim of 432.12 million Atlas. Remember that the labor force is defined as a function of the number of actively staked ships in score being resupplied by R4. The team notes that the net labor force change is a key indicator to the health of score, which ultimately drives the change in Atlas emissions and determines the size of the capital stock. The top correlations of the net labor force change are token prices, the change in the fully employed VWAP, and the diffusion ratio. The economic report then really takes a deep dive into establishing the Star Atlas metaverse as a comparable economy to real-life economies. In doing so, the team establishes a number of main economic indicators broken down into 4 categories. These 4 categories being token sector, net initial deposits, employment and earnings, and lastly, ship prices and valuations. In their research, Star Atlas economists note that by using a dynamic factor model on the subcomponents of the Metaverse Gaming Index, we discover a single dominant factor that explains 29% of the variation across 123 Metaverse gaming tokens. The median variation explained is 24%, and this single factor accounts for 60% of the daily variations in Atlas and 47% in Polis. A regression of Sol, ETH, and Bitcoin indicated that they account for 80% of the variation of the first factor. In simpler terms, the price of Solana, Ethereum, and Bitcoin play a large role in the economic activity of not just Star Atlas, but other blockchain gaming economies as well. Star Atlas and the broader Web3 gaming market have yet to break away from their correlation to the dominant Layer 1 tokens in crypto. And that's it for our main discussion this week. Next week, we dive further into the Star Atlas quarterly report and economics report with the head of game economics, Steve Sabal. We'll also be joined by everyone's favorite galactic economist, Stardust Economy. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, YouTube, or wherever you get your Star Atlas news to know exactly when our episodes drop. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, I'm Courtney, and you're listening to the Hologram News